All right, took the dishwasher out actually last night, kind of jump started. I'm trying to figure out if I can replace this hose or not. It would probably clean itself, but I do have a couple areas because I have not used this dishwasher and I've almost been at this property for 2 years now. There's water that's been sitting in there and it's just, obviously like algaed water. So obviously I'm not going to be drinking from that, but it is kind of nasty. So trying to figure out if I can replace that hose. It is attached on this side with an O-ring clipped in right here. So I'll do a little bit more research on that, but if I can replace that hose, that would be awesome. If not, it's just going to flush down, work its way into my septic eventually. So let's go ahead and look underneath, as this is very wobbly here. So it's time to start removing all of this, pulling the Band-Aid off like I keep talking about. All right, so we had a box inside here. It's an enclosed box for the electrical. That's the dishwasher plug. So I'm gonna try to save all of that. Obviously, I'm gonna probably have to run a longer run of Romex. Hi, Berea. A longer run of Romex underneath because that's not going to fish its way. So what I'm gonna do, obviously with the power off, cut down the Romex. It's coming up right through here through the floorboards and the crawl space. If I have access to it, I'll just like fish it over starting here before I seal in the footer boards and then just go straight this way. But actually, no, scratch that because all my plumbing, I'm gonna have to pull this up anyway. So sometimes you kind of have to think about a step ahead of the game. So what I'll have is I'll have a box that's enclosed up against the wall right here that then runs a fresh line all the way where I need to go over here. And then you have a metal plate over it. It'll be painted and it'll be hidden by the cabinet. You can literally just enclose it, shove your cabinets up against it. And what you do in that circumstance is if anyone in the future does demo, they're gonna see a metal box with a metal cover. They're gonna know electrical is behind there. Let me show you an example of one right here. I'm eventually gonna put a cover over that right there next to the light. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it will blend in eventually with the ceiling. Do that if you don't have a chandelier. I need to put a cap on. And what I'm talking about is these are the caps right here. And then you simply just paint it the same color as your ceiling. In my case, Benjamin Moore. Comes with some white screws, and I need to do that for this as well. This is all the old electrical. I'm rerouting. That was the old switches over here for the smoke detector over here. I now have Wi-Fi wireless smoke detectors. So a little heads up for you on that one. Okay, so we do have to address that. So I will shut off the electricity in a little bit. But again, first step is moving all this. Second step is carefully disassembling all this, making sure you don't break your water valves, making sure you have a bucket nearby just in case. The reason why is because I'm going to start working on these PEX right here. Definitely shut off your valves. This one is super old from the manufacturer in 1992. Prepare for the worst because it's a lot better having a 5-gallon bucket next to you just in case. And then shout at someone, go turn off the main water, which you definitely want to have knowledge of where that's at before anything happens, God forbid. I don't know if I ever got it on camera, but I did have a washing machine incident late at night one time, and goodness gracious, wish I had a helper to run off and turn off the water. Unfortunately didn't, and had to start pulling off some lower drywall that got wet. Anywho, so we just had a glass of water, we just did the dishes. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off, which goes this way here, okay? Is now off. I'm gonna turn this one off, and all that's gonna be replaced anyway, and we'll start dismantling this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be right back to the build, but I do wanna thank today's sponsor, which is Manscaped. They have just dropped their newest lineup of new products, the Lawnmower 4.0 Pro and the Lawnmower 3.0 Plus. I've made full tutorial videos already on the channel regarding these two trimmers, body trimmers, and they do an excellent job. These are the upgraded, new and improved models. And if you guys want 20% off and free shipping for whatever products they do offer, top link in the description box below. Your 20% discount will automatically be applied at checkout. Again, you get free shipping as well for whatever products. I highly recommend their beard hedger as well. It does an absolutely fantastic job. Not to mention their boxers, which I'm wearing right now. Again, they have a plethora of products, so definitely check out that link, top link in the description box below. 20% off and free shipping. Lawnmower 4.0 Pro, Lawnmower 3.0 Plus. Grab yourself a couple pairs of boxers on the way out. You're going to highly enjoy them. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to the build, because now we're all clean. Might as well dirty myself up a little bit now. All right, folks, you have your faucet and you have your sink here. So what we're going to do is you have to disconnect your garbage disposal completely, unless you are going to be using this same garbage disposal and same sink. This sink will be donated, but I plan to reuse my garbage disposal on my other kitchen. And I'll also be donating this faucet, so I don't want to ruin anything. And so this method will definitely help you either transfer it or get it out without wrecking it to donate it to Habitat for Humanity, Restore, etc. So up here was my dishwashing, I'm just going to call it an excess water flow. There's a small cap on top like this that directs water from this hose right here. If the garbage disposal, you'll see the hose right here at the top of the garbage disposal. And what happens typically is the dishwasher will kick that on, and then you'll get like a spray in this side, or it'll foam out. You just want to make sure it's obviously pointing in the right direction, etc. So, or if you have a soap dispenser here, unscrew the soap dispenser. You're going to go underneath it here. And I've already done that to the dishwashing area here, but that slipped up and this tie was holding that down. So I pulled that up. It was able to drop down. And then I had to pull off the hose that was connected to this here, the dishwasher. So this will be the garbage disposal. This side will be the dishwasher. Pull that off and it was able to come down and hang freely. If you are going to just be putting in a new sink, then no need to pull off that dishwashing hose there. I just did that because this whole entire thing is going to be rebuilt and transferred to a kitchen island over here. So definitely subscribe to the channel and don't miss out on those videos. All right, second thing is you can either turn off the water to the main house, or if you have levers underneath your sink, we'll need to go ahead and turn off the water. So these valves are off right here. That one went over to the dishwasher. This one goes up to the cold water. This one went up to the hot water. And this one is original going to the cold water. So I need to turn all that off, because we are going to be disconnecting the faucet. Even if you are going to be retransferring the sink over somewhere else, you need to do that to free it up. So turn off your water, and then your connections are going to be here. And then this is for the extendable faucet here, which should maybe be able to go through the hole. If not, we'll address that kind of lock washer, I'm going to call it, right up there in a little bit. And then my cold pipe valve right there, we're going to disconnect that as well. We also have to disconnect this piping as well to this side of the sink. It's just a very easy clip on, but I do need to shut off the water before I do get started on that. And then of course your garbage disposal right here, which is going to be powered. So do be careful of that. Find the outlet, unplug it. It's mostly going to be underneath your sink somewhere around here. And then if you have a over the counter sink like this, you might have some caulking. So you might have to get a box cutter, slip it under there. There's probably some sort of adhesive, waterproof adhesive, so when you wash dishes by hand, it rolls over, it won't go through and drip down. So stick a box cutter in there carefully, go all the way around it, but first we need to start dismantling it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the water and we'll get to the next step. Alrighty, so I have my quick release. They're not really quick release, but they are screw on, super simple, going to the faucet. What I would do is after you do turn off the water, this was just a quarter turn, so are these ones here. After you turn those off, definitely test the faucet, and you'll get like a little itty bitty splash that comes out of it. That will clear the tubes a little bit, but after you unscrew it here, you're going to have just a few droplets of water, not much coming out, so just be aware of that. Don't be scared. We've loosened this up, so now this is free from the right side of the sink, and we're going to address this area as well. So these quick little knobs right here, you need to unscrew that one on the hot side, as well as that one on the cold side. And then we'll get to the middle section here in a second. But in the meantime, my sink, yours might not, yours might just have adhesive, or you have these clips that hold it into the stone, in my case, cheap Formica board. So the way to do this is at the very end of these particular ones, it's a flathead screwdriver, and I just loosen it with a flathead screwdriver, and then you can pull them all the way off or try to at least get them to the side like that. But I might have to take them all off, and that will, with the adhesive, once you break that free and obviously undo all your connections, it will be able to push up And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Some of those are a little hard to reach if you don't have a dismantled under kitchen sink cabinet. I'm dismantling this whole thing, so it's a little bit easier for me. So might have to get on your back and reach up. And these actually I would just remove them. They just slide out of these channels once they're loose. Okay, if you're blessed like myself, the previous owner actually left the small little tool for the middle section on the actual hose. So what that does is for your middle section, so my cold water area there, the little quick release tab is off, as well as the hot I showed you earlier. And then for the middle section, you have that brass nut on this long threaded plastic valve for your middle spout area. So if you don't have the tool nearby or in a drawer, then you're gonna have to get up there with some sort of adjustable wrench and loosen that up the best you can. And then once it's a little bit loose, then obviously a little hard filming and doing it, but now it's loose completely, and we'll take it all the way off. And because what you want to do is get rid of that gold kind of lock-in washer there, which seems like it's pretty deep in there. So let me do this and I'll show you what that looks like there. But do you see this right here where my thumb is? That is locking all your wires and everything into place. Yeah, it looks like it goes up, so it looks like I don't have to completely get rid of this nut, and then that'll kind of push up and out, but get back to you on that one. All right, I did have to completely loosen that up, so the washer and nut have fallen down completely. Now we're gonna come up here, and again, we wanna donate this, but it does look a little nasty under there. We're gonna go ahead and pull up our lines the best we can. We might have to do this with two hands, pull up one line at a time, then slip our washer kind of vertical through there. And with this particular faucet, I had to disconnect the quick release, which is located right here, and then clipped in with this, because of this particular faucet has that weight. That's definitely not gonna go up through that hole. So I'm gonna go underneath, carefully feed that down so I don't drop the weight, and then reconnect it on the top side. Okay, again, we're gonna scrub it up a little bit and donate it. It's still actually a really nice faucet. Again, I just put everything back the same. So after I release the clip here, I have my washer I was talking about. I have my nut inside my tool, and then the weight went back on that direction, clipped everything in, and then I'll take these little plastic, I'm gonna call them nuts washers. I'm gonna put those back on. I do need to scrub the bottom of it there, because I would like someone to reuse this. I don't need it in my other one. So we'll put back those parts, and then when you disconnect the garbage disposal, it's gonna stink a little bit, and all these pipes, I'm gonna redo all this stuff and just chuck these, recycle them. And this is the part, if you are gonna be reusing it, do be very careful and find the best method to get the adhesive so you could pull it up a little bit here. So I am prying a little bit, and I am noticing a little bit of divots in the stainless steel. I probably could be a little bit more careful, and so I'm just giving you a heads up on that. You could go from below and try to jam it around that way. Again, that's if you are going to be donating it or reusing it, or if you're in a full demo like me. If it's past the point of donating it or reusing it, then absolutely just, jam a hammer in there with a screwdriver, bam, sledge it up. But just letting you know, you do have options. And the sink is not too heavy, but do be careful. At the bottom of a stainless steel sink has sharp edges, so just be careful about that. All right, so that is how you remove the sink. You can see a very small little bit of adhesive. There should have been more there, but it's probably on the bottom of it there. So now you're looking at all your pipes. And if you're putting in a new sink and then backing it up, do be careful, especially if you're putting in a new sink. You don't want to be jamming a screwdriver underneath stone or a chisel, because you do not want to be chipping your quartz, granite, etc. For mica, there's no scratches going underneath it, but again, a few little divots. So just be careful. All right, so we have our pipes here, and then you just kind of reverse order it back around. But I will be reusing that garbage disposal for my other one, like I keep mentioning. We are going to be literally taking this area and doing a custom island over here. Alrighty, so we got the kitchen sink out. We're going to reuse the garbage disposal if it doesn't stink too much, and depends on the age of it. And we have my piping here. So parent's dog is here, and so we're going to take a little breather here. But next step, before it gets too late, is I want to dismantle all this and then try to cap off those valves, because it does stink pretty good in here now that the garbage disposal is not being properly seated to the garbage disposal, and you can kind of smell the nastiness. So we need to deal with that.